People have been suspicious of Jay Z and Beyonce for a while now. With their wealth and power, some people have been convinced that they are not good people, and it turns out they were right. Now, for years, Jay Z has been friends with problematic men, but right now the spotlight is on him and Diddy. Now, if you somehow didn't know, Diddy has been arrested and served with a ton of lawsuits regarding how he mistreated people at his parties. People grew suspicious of Beyonce and Jay Z when he was arrested, as the three of them were really close. I mean, Jay Z and Beyonce even debuted some of their new music at Diddy's parties. But it turns out that Jay Z was actually involved in some of the crimes Diddy has been accused of. Now, one accuser says that she was a victim of both Jay Z and Diddy. In October, a case was brought against Diddy from a Jane Doe about an incident that happened at one of his parties. Now, the suit also claimed that two other celebrities were involved in the incident, a male and a female celebrity. Now, since October, people have been speculating who those two celebrities could be, and one has been officially announced. It was Jay Z. The lawsuit says in the year 2000, a friend dropped Jane Doe off at the VMAs at Radio City Music Hall. Now, she did not have a ticket, and she approached various limousine drivers to try to gain access to the show or an after party. Now, one driver, the lawsuit says, told her that he worked for Diddy and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. He invited her to a party after the show and told her to return to his car later in the evening after he transported Diddy and Jay Z. Now later, the driver picked her up, the suit says, and after 20 minutes they arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway. Now, she said she had to sign a document she believed was a non-disclosure agreement on arrival to enter the party, which the suit says was filled with celebrities. She then said while there, she was offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down. So she went into a room to rest. Now, shortly afterward, the suit says that Diddy and Jay Z entered the room, with Diddy saying, "You are ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men, while an unnamed female celebrity watched. After the alleged incident, the suit says she grabbed her clothes and left, and she made her way to a gas station where she called her father. In a statement, Jay Z called the mediation request a blackmail attempt. He also said that this lawyer, who I've done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of those type of theatrics. Now, in a statement from Tony Busby on Saturday, the attorney, he wrote, "The pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter that will be litigated in court." Now, after this, Jay Z filed his own lawsuit against the accuser's attorneys. Tony then denied the extortion claims against Jay Z in an Instagram post in which he wrote that his firm won't allow the powerful and their high-dollar lawyers to intimidate or silence survivors. And in a statement to CNN, he said, "If you are trying to hide your identity and you claim you did nothing wrong, doesn't seem very smart to take this approach. We will address it in due course. I have confidence that with full public disclosure, all of this will sort itself out," Tony wrote. Now, on Sunday, Tony responded on social media to Jay Z's statement, saying that the alleged victim never demanded a penny from him. Now, besides people calling Jay Z out online, musical artist Jaguar Wright called out the star months ago. In an October interview with British journalist Piers Morgan, she alleged that Jay Z and his wife Beyonce were involved in bad practices, including keeping people against their will and even engaging in questionable activities. Wright further claimed that she had 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony on not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They are a nasty little couple. They do nasty things. Keeping people against their will, putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane unconscious, she said. Now, in past interviews, Wright has claimed that Jay Z was worse than Diddy and accused both men of being monsters. Now, following the refiling of the lawsuit on December 8th, the internet has exploded with reactions, many pointing out that Jaguar Wright had previously predicted the situation. One user on Twitter wrote, "Jaguar Wright literally predicted this a few months ago," referencing her earlier claims about the pair. While another added, "Jaguar Wright has always spoken the truth about Jay Z, no one listened to her." Many users are now echoing this sentiment that Wright was silenced for speaking out, with one stating, "Everyone owes Jaguar Wright an apology for silencing her voice about Jay Z." Now, Twitter has also gone ablaze with people compiling evidence of Jay Z being creepy over the years. It seems like he had a thing for young girls, which makes his connection to Diddy and his crimes even more believable. Now, Jay Z also appeared to be overly protective over Beyonce when they first got together. In 2003, Beyonce released the song Baby Boy featuring Sean Paul. It was a huge song, but it was only performed live 3 times. Now, that year, Jay Z reportedly banned Sean Paul from performing the song with Beyonce at the VMAs. Now, Beyonce performed it, but Sean was in the crowd. Now, Beyonce and Sean also didn't even film the music video together, as it was reported that Jay Z didn't want other men around her. Now, this isn't the first time something like this has happened, as in an interview, Bun B, who worked with Beyonce on Check On It, revealed that Jay Z called during the video shoot and told all men to leave the set. Yikes, it seems like Jay Z is just really controlling. While Beyonce hasn't done anything remotely as bad as what Jay Z has done, she still had plenty of controversies over the years, especially when it comes to her music. Beyonce's album Renaissance was met with multiple critiques after its release. Just one day before the album dropped, Khalees slammed Beyonce for using a sample of her 2003 hit song Milkshake, allegedly without her permission. On Instagram, she wrote, "My mind is blown too because the level of disrespect and utter ignorance of all 3 parties involved is astounding. I heard about this the same way everyone else did." Though neither Beyonce nor her team publicly commented on the post, they ended up removing the sample from the Spotify version of Energy in August of 2022, but to this day, you can still find it on Apple Music. Now, Beyonce's 2011 Billboard Music Awards performance was one for the books, but it did cause some controversy. But she was then accused of copying Italian singer Lorella Cucari and a performance she did 1 year prior in 2010. Now, Beyonce later explained that she was inspired by Lorella, adding that she had no intentions of stealing her stunning visuals. Now, stealing and being inspired are 2 different things though, if we're being honest, and this wasn't the only time she was accused of stealing something for a performance. Oh no. Beyonce, Sony, Columbia, and the pop stars Parkwood Entertainment were all sued by indie filmmaker Matthew Folks over the visuals to her 2016 album Lemonade. He also claimed that he sent Parkwood Entertainment the short film, so he knows several employees who worked on Lemonade had access to it. Now, 1 month after his June 2016 filing, Beyonce's attorneys hit back, arguing that visuals do not fall under copyright infringement. They also argued that the narrative was completely different, as Lemonade dealt with portraying an African-American woman who progresses through stages of suspicion, denial, anger, and ultimately reconciliation in her relationship. But hey, I can definitely see the similarities. Regardless, it seems like both Jay Z and Beyonce have gotten away with way too much. And even if Beyonce did not participate in any of the crimes that Jay Z allegedly did, she probably still knows about them, which is just gross. Now, first off, we have the fact that she's protecting her husband and not speaking out. Jay Z was just named in a lawsuit with Diddy, and it does not look good for him. Since he and Beyonce are together, it also reflects poorly on her. Now, you don't know what I'm talking about? Well, we have to go back to October to get the full story. Now, an anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, said an incident happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards after party. Now, a federal lawsuit was originally filed in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as a defendant. What we knew at the time was, at the after party, the victim was mistreated by Diddy, while another male celebrity and female celebrity, neither of whom were named in the lawsuit, watched until she was able to escape. Now, this case was refiled on Sunday, December 8th, and it included Jay Z, aka Sean Carter, in it. It turns out that he was the male celebrity described in the suit. Now, we still don't know who the female celebrity was, but there is speculation that it was either Beyonce or J-Lo. Now, Texas-based attorney Tony Busby filed the suit, and the lawsuit says that a friend dropped off Jane Doe at the VMAs at the Radio City Music Hall. Now, she did not have a ticket, and she approached various limousine drivers to try to gain access to the show or even just an after party. One driver, the lawsuit says, told her that he worked for Diddy and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. Now, he invited her to a party after the show and told her to return to his car later in the evening after he transported Diddy and Jay Z. Later, the driver picked her up, and after 20 minutes they arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway. She then had to sign a document she believed was a non-disclosure agreement on arrival, and she did not receive a copy, but she had to do this to enter the party, which the suit says was filled with celebrities. She was then offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down, so she went into a room to rest. Shortly afterwards, the suit says Diddy and Jay Z entered the room, with Diddy saying, "You are ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men while an unnamed female celebrity just watched. After the alleged incident, the suit says she grabbed her clothes and left. She made her way to a gas station where she called her father. Now, the accuser is seeking unspecified damages, and all I gotta say about all this is that it's just absolutely disgusting. Now, Jay Z though is furious with this and that it has become public. According to the lawsuit, her attorneys reached out to Jay Z to request a mediation to resolve this matter. In a statement, Jay Z called the mediation request a blackmail attempt, and he also said the lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. Now, in a statement from Tony Busby on Saturday, he wrote, "The pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter that will be litigated in court." Now, after this, Jay Z filed his own lawsuit against the accuser's attorneys. He filed a motion in New York City on December 9th, requesting that the accuser reveal her name instead of filing anonymously as Jane Doe. His lawyer, Alex Spiro, stated that Jay Z is respectfully seeking either dismissal of the allegations or disclosure of the plaintiff's identity. "Fair is fair," Alex wrote in the motion. "It's not consistent with justice, fairness, or the rules governing federal proceedings for the plaintiff and her counsel to smear Jay Z's good name." Now, the document also noted that Jay Z has built an impeccable reputation, adding he's never been accused of, let alone engaged in, any misconduct. Now, it's just disgusting that he wants her name to be revealed to the world, as we know that his fans will go after this poor woman and make her life even worse. But what does Beyonce think about all of this? Well, she hasn't said a thing. In fact, it appears that she's been supporting him. 2 days after Jay Z was exposed in the lawsuit, Jay attended the premiere of a movie with Beyonce, where their daughter Blue Ivy voiced one of the characters. It was the first time Jay Z had been spotted in public since the accusations, and sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that Jay Z and Beyonce were not planning to attend the premiere. However, they appear to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. Now, she's helping him do damage control, and it's just gross. I mean, as a woman and just as a decent human being, why would you support him like that? If anything, just Beyonce and her daughter should have gone to the premiere and left Jay Z at home, as they knew the attention would be on him. Now, this whole situation is just so gross and horrible, and not to mention, Jay Z has admitted to cheating on Beyonce. Now, the fact that she stayed with a cheater is shocking, but now she's defending him after everything he's done. I mean, at this point, just throw the whole family away. Now, besides defending her husband, Beyonce has been in quite a few scandals herself. People are claiming that Diddy helped Beyonce and Jay Z get rid of their competition. For years, Diddy has been accused of causing the passings of Tupac Shakur, the Notorious B.I.G., Michael Jackson, and others. But now people think that Beyonce and Jay were in on it too. Rising star Aaliyah passed away on August 25th, 2001 after her private jet crashed in the Bahamas just minutes after takeoff. Now, she was only 22 years old when she passed away and was considered a promising star that would definitely overshadow Beyonce, so some claim Beyonce got Diddy to help get rid of her. Now, at the time of her passing, people were suspicious as no one on board her plane managed to survive. Leslie Lopes, known as Left Eye, was another American artist who passed away suddenly on April 25, 2002 after a car accident. Now, people have also brought up Michael Jackson, as his security guard apparently used to work for Diddy. People are now saying that Beyonce and Diddy had something to do with all of this. Now, J. Cole lists all these celebrities that passed away in his song She Knows, which some people say sounds like Beyonce's last name, Knowles. Now, is it just a coincidence or what? Now, people have done even more digging though and discovered that all the victims, Michael, Aaliyah, and Left Eye, all passed away on the 25th of a month, and that Beyonce, Jay Z, and Diddy were all born on the 4th of a month. Now, could this mean something? Maybe, maybe not, but it's something to point out. Fans have also brought up the fact that when a lot of people in Hollywood win major awards against Beyonce, they always have to thank her or mention her in some way, and if they don't, they have an untimely passing or an accident. Now, is it crazy to think that Beyonce had Diddy do all of this? One wild theory even involves Kanye West's famous interruption of Taylor Swift at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. During Taylor's speech, Kanye said Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Now, some fans are suggesting that this moment was an attempt by Kanye to protect Taylor. Yeah, it's insane, but some people are starting to believe it and are turning on Beyonce. Now, the internet is always full of strange rumors, but this one is picking up steam, and it will need to be shut down soon before it spreads more and more. And let me tell you, it's spreading like a wildfire all over TikTok. Now, some people have turned it into a joke, which I completely understand, but could there be some truth to it? It sure does seem like it. Not to mention, there's always been rumors that Beyonce and Jay Z are a part of a secret society. So, believe what you want. Beyonce has dropped Jay Z's last name among the scandal going on with him. Now, does this mean they're going to get a divorce? Well, here's what we know. Beyonce was recently listed in Forbes' list of most powerful women. People were shocked to see her go by Beyonce Knowles, her maiden name, instead of her official name, Beyonce Knowles Carter. Now, this name change is interesting considering Jay Z has been accused of committing a pretty horrible crime with his best friend, Diddy. Now, fans noticed this change right away, and some speculated a soft launch name change with comments like, "Let me hear you all say uh-oh," and "Nah, don't forget the Carter." Now, others humorously chimed in, "Everyone say, hey, Miss Knowles." Now, why is Beyonce trying to distance herself from her husband? Well, it all has to do with their friend, Diddy. Jay Z was just accused of mistreating and taking advantage of a girl in the year 2000 with Diddy. The anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, said the incident happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards after party. Now, the federal lawsuit was originally filed in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as a defendant. What we knew at the time was at the after party, the victim was mistreated by Diddy, while another male celebrity and female celebrity, neither of whom were named in the lawsuit, watched until the victim was able to escape. Now, this case was just refiled on Sunday, December 8th, and it included Jay Z, aka Sean Carter, in it. It turns out that he was the male celebrity described in the suit. But now some people think the unnamed female celebrity may be Beyonce. Now, the lawsuit says a friend dropped Jane Doe off at the VMAs at Radio City Music Hall. She didn't have a ticket, but she approached various limousine drivers to try to gain access to the show or even just an after party. Now, one driver told her that he worked for Diddy and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. He invited her to a party after the show and told her to return to his car in the late evening after he had transported Diddy and Jay Z. Now, later, the driver picked her up, and after 20 minutes they arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway, the suit says. Now, she then had to sign a document she believes was a non-disclosure agreement on arrival to enter the party, which the suit says was filled with celebrities. She was then offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down, so she went into a room to rest. Now, shortly afterwards, though, the suit says Diddy and Jay Z entered the room, with Diddy saying, "You are ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men while an unnamed female celebrity just watched. After the alleged incident, the suit says she grabbed her clothes and left. She made her way to a gas station where she called her father, it says. Now, the accuser is seeking unspecified damages. Now, Jay Z has denied all accusations against him and has been going back and forth with Jane Doe's lawyer, Tony Busby, on social media. According to the lawsuit, her attorneys reached out to Jay Z to request a mediation to resolve this matter. Upon present information and belief, Jay Z responded to said letter by not only filing an utterly frivolous lawsuit, but also by orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against the plaintiff's lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay Z herein. The effort was made to scare plaintiff and to discredit her counsel. That effort failed. Indeed, plaintiff chose to file this amendment as a result of the egregious conduct perpetrated by Carter, said the lawsuit. Now, in a response to CNN, Jay Z called the mediation request a blackmail attempt. He also said this lawyer, who I have done a bunch of research on, he said, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. Now, in a statement from Tony Busby on Saturday, he wrote, "The pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter that will be litigated in court." Now, in response to this, Jay Z posted a lengthy statement about this accusation, and he claimed that Tony was engaged in unprofessional behavior. Now, again, it's been a lot of back and forth about all of this, but the bottom line is that Jay Z is denying everything. Now, Jay Z was actually spotted the day after the lawsuit was refiled. Jay attended the premiere of a movie with Beyonce where their daughter, Blue Ivy, voiced one of the characters. It was the first time Jay Z had been spotted in public since the accusations. But sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that Jay Z and Beyonce were not planning to attend the premiere. However, they appeared to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. So it seems like this was some kind of PR move, which is honestly just so icky to me. Now, this is a horrible look for Beyonce because it seems like she's okay with this behavior and is even trying to protect him. Now, the attorney for Jay Z, Alex Spiro, has filed a motion requesting that the accuser in a high-profile lawsuit reveal her identity. In documents submitted to a Manhattan federal court, Spiro stated, "Mr. Carter deserves to know the identity of the person who is effectively accusing him of criminal conduct." He further criticized Jane Doe's claims of potential harm from disclosure as insufficient, asserting that her accusations were publicized in a manner aimed at causing maximum reputational damage to Carter. But musical artist Jaguar Wright has also spoken out, calling both Diddy and Jay Z monsters in the past. Now, she did an interview with Piers Morgan and she made her feelings clear about the two stars. She asked Jay Z to speak out about the arrests, but she also added that there were thousands of victims in total when Piers asked how many there could be. Wright then mentioned Beyonce, saying she was supposedly involved in the unfair incidents that transpired over time. She went on to say that she has spoken to hundreds of victims whom she continues to assist. She even said that she had 3 victims who were willing to testify about what Jay Z did to them, as well as what he did to his wife. Well, that's what she said. And now it turns out that she might have been telling the truth. Everyone at the time was calling her crazy, but I'm not too sure now. I mean, it seems like she might have been right about everything. Now, this isn't the first time someone has spoken up about some of Jay Z's creepy behavior, though. Jay Z's ex, Carmen Bryan, appeared to react to the news, and people are bringing up her weird relationship with him. Now, she just recently posted some shady stuff on her Instagram account, as in one Instagram story she shared the lyrics of a Kanye West song, and these lyrics pretty much describe Jay Z's situation right now and what he did. She then posted another story saying, "These days people don't defend what is right, they defend who they like, and that's why we call you groupies." Additionally, in recent updates, she also uploaded a screenshot of an article that mentioned how Jay Z's alleged son is also planning on filing a lawsuit against the musician. With her back in the media though, people are bringing up some things she said in her book about Jay Z. In It's No Secret, From Nas to Jay Z, From Seduction to Scandal, a hip-hop Helen of Troy tells all, she recounted how she once woke up to Jay Z kissing her. She said, "Over dinner, I decided he and I would be good friends for a very long time. We went back to Eric's house talking and laughing. I was in no condition to drive home, so I decided to spend the night at Eric's," she explained. "Sean and I sat on the couch and pretended to watch television. Before long, I drifted off to sleep. I woke up with Sean kissing me. His lips were so soft and luscious, and I began to melt into him." But yeah, that's not okay. Not at all. Now, it's also been exposed that Jay Z has a thing for younger girls, which didn't seem to get him into trouble in the past, but now that I'm looking back at it though, it is weird. I mean, the signs were there, people, you just ignored them.
We have to start with 50 Cent because this man is not holding back. But then again, when does he ever? 50 Cent and Jay Z have had a long-standing feud, so it's no surprise he is engaging with the latest news. In fact, since the news dropped earlier this year about Diddy's arrest, 50 Cent has been yanking Jay Z's name into the picture. Literally, he's been saying that Jay Z should be a part of the conversation for months, and no one really clued in. Back in March, he posted a photo with Jay Z's face photoshopped on the side of a milk carton. It was a missing person ad. The photo was captioned, "Anybody seen Jay? LOL. Puff said he ain't answering his phone. LOL." Then in May, he posted a picture of Jay Z's face with the caption, "Jay in hibernation. He ain't coming outside till this stuff with Puff blow over." So yeah, it's clear now what 50 Cent was possibly hinting at with the odd posts. 50 Cent has been closely following and frequently commenting on the Diddy allegations in case. Jay Z being officially thrown into it all, like 50 Cent has been saying for months. Yeah, 50 Cent is going to make some posts about it. To make sure we're all on the same page though, back in October a lawsuit was filed by a Jane Doe that accused Diddy and another, then unnamed male celebrity of being non-consensually intimate with her. The suit also mentioned an unnamed female celebrity was present for the incident but didn't come into contact with the plaintiff, just watched the scene unfold. The female celebrity name hasn't been released, but the male celebrity was recently revealed to be Jay Z. Jay Z has denied any wrongdoing and said that the allegations are causing a strain in his personal life. Despite the controversy being so high profile, the rapper is still making public appearances. His daughter Blue Ivy voiced a character in Mufasa, the live-action Lion King prequel. Beyoncé also lent her voice to the film, so the family was spotted together on the red carpet. This was an action frowned upon by social media users, some even saying that Jay Z had a lot of nerve showing up considering the circumstances. Now that everyone's caught up though, screenshots of a now deleted 50 Cent Instagram post featured Jay Z's family on the Mufasa red carpet. The caption indirectly references the new allegations against Jay Z. It basically read, "Hey, I got accused of this really awful thing. I guess let's go to the movies." That's like a really loose PG interpretation of the real caption. People are loving 50 Cent for how frank he is and for literally never giving any of the accused a chance to breathe. One ex-user even said that at this point, 50 Cent is the only trustworthy news source, considering how much he comments on everything and how on top of this news he is. I wonder if he has a Google alert on his phone or something. Is it like his own version of Spider Sense when something new drops? He's even helping create a Netflix documentary about this whole situation. The doc will be an episodic series and all proceeds go towards victims of inappropriate violence. The documentary was going to be mainly about Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and one of the first and most public of the suits against the rapper. However, when 50 Cent confirmed the bidding war was won by Netflix in a since-deleted Instagram post, he also claimed that if more victims keep coming out, he's gonna need more episodes. So there is potential that the doc will end up covering way more than it originally bargained for, especially since Diddy's trial hasn't even happened yet. It's set for a May 2025 start. There was a promise that as we got closer to the big trial date, more major names were going to be revealed, so Jay Z might be the first of many. What better warning was there than Beyonce's sister Solange literally attacking Jay Z in an elevator and at the Met Gala too? Do you know how upset you have to be with someone to get into a physical altercation around security cameras knowing you are some of the most high-profile people on earth at one of the most high-profile events of the year? This moment from the 2014 Met Gala changed the trajectory of everyone in that elevator's life. Why Solange attacked Jay Z is still unknown. The footage of that disagreement was not exactly top quality, literally filmed from the security screen on like an iPhone, so you really can't like lip read or anything. We don't have audio, so we can't know the details of what prompted Solange to throw down. If Jay Z said something, however, the internet is good at creating theories, so create it did. The most popular theory and rumor is that Jay Z was unfaithful. How does one marry Beyonce and then cheat on her? Who knows? Truly, that was a fumble like no other. At the time when this was the incident of the year, it was just speculation that Jay Z had cheated, but then Beyonce surprise dropped Lemonade a few years later and basically confirmed that the rumors were true. Just dropping an album no notice is already iconic, but she really didn't give her fan base a chance to breathe, just like, here you go, new music, new visuals, and also my husband cheated on me. The reason people consider this to be Beyonce confirming Jay Z's infidelity is because the album featured lyrics lyrics like, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath," and the much more direct, "Are you cheating on me?" Yeah, after saying that, the public was convinced Jay Z had in fact cheated. Throughout this era, Beyonce made divorce rumors pick up when she made several solo appearances too. Back to the night of the 2014 Met Gala, photos that are seemingly taken right after the trio left the elevator got the public talking because of the stars' faces. People generally agree that Beyonce is looking at her sister with a proud expression, Jay Z is literally holding his face in some of the shots or he looks just like a little rattled, and Solange, she doesn't look happy. You know, all these expressions check out for the events that just happened. Both parties later released statements taking responsibility for their actions that night, but people still wonder. Now we know Beyonce and Jay Z are all good because they're still married, although they do have a completely separate scandal to deal with today. Drake has also allegedly had a bad relationship with Jay Z in the past, despite the two having successful collaborations over the years. He has shaded Jay Z on songs of his once, saying, "That's around the time that your idols become your rivals." Although Drake isn't exactly on the strongest foundations right now either, considering he's also currently facing his own allegations with a similar theme to Diddy's and Jay Z's, so that's not great. Which, speaking of, there is some recent alleged Jay Z Drake drama there. So this past year, Drake and Kendrick Lamar have had their own feud going, releasing songs dissing the other person. Drake has been accused of being too close to young people and interacting in an unwelcome or strange manner with them, something that Kendrick has called out on his tracks. Allegedly, some people are saying that Jay Z was on Kendrick's side for this feud and was pulling strings to get things to work out for Kendrick. It's definitely a theory. It hasn't been proven true, of course, though. In an unexpected turn of fate though, Robert De Niro once got on Jay Z's case at a party. These two don't even live in the same part of my brain, so this is quite the crossover for me. Apparently, De Niro wasn't very happy with the rapper and called Jay Z disrespectful at Leonardo DiCaprio's birthday party in 2012. Again, with all the players, this story seems fake, but Page Six did report on it after it happened. But what caused this unforeseen celebrity altercation? Apparently, Jay Z didn't call De Niro back. The rapper had agreed to record a song for De Niro that was going to be for the Tribeca Film Festival where the two men were from. According to Page Six, Jay Z approached the table that night De Niro was seated at. He wanted to say hi, but De Niro wasn't looking for polite small talk and got on the rapper's case for not returning the 6 calls he sent his way. That is quite a few voicemails to be left, so I get why De Niro wasn't happy. Apparently, Jay Z tried to make the situation more lighthearted, saying he wasn't great on the phone, which didn't really work. Beyonce came over, didn't help. A source who claims they were in the room where it happened said that De Niro said to Jay Z, "If somebody calls you 6 times, you call them back. It doesn't matter who you are, that is just rude," and that he thinks he's the man, but he was disrespectful. The source also claimed that when De Niro gets angry, it's a scary sight. Another source, this one closer to De Niro, told Page Six that the conversation was actually low-key and private and nothing like what was originally claimed. Reps for either star didn't comment. Back in the early 2000s, Jay Z had a public feud with another rapper, Nas. The two would call each other out in songs, and once Jay Z called out the other rapper's family, which seriously crossed a line, to the point where allegedly his own family got involved. Apparently, Jay Z was so disrespectful, his own mother made him apologize, which he did, saying, "I want to apologize to Carmen and any females I may have offended." Carmen was the mother of Nas's daughter. A few years after this incident, the two patched things up, appearing at a concert event together in which they performed.
Beyonce and Jay Z aim for protection when it comes to their careers, but it is the same for their personal lives, as employees must follow their strict rules, like keeping Bey's dressing room at 78 degrees, and that employees must read a huge handbook that Beyonce wrote herself. Now, we know that Beyonce says that a diva is a female version of a hustler, but it seems like she has some pretty specific demands when it comes to her dressing room when she performs. According to Business Inside, Beyonce's dressing room must be 78 degrees at the start of a performance or anytime she's in the room. Now, I guess the warmth helps her vocal cords, but staff also have to make sure that she has all white furniture, Irish soap from Walgreens, and perfectly chemically scented grapefruit candles, or at least something similar. Why all this? Well, she appears to have a pre-show ritual that includes a stretch, a prayer, and an hour of alone time with her favorite playlist. So it seems like her dressing room setup helps with all of that. And then when she gets off stage, she needs to have at least 2 towels in her dressing room, one for her face and one for her body. Now she also requests that there be a large table in the dressing room with white table covers so she can eat after her performance. Now this isn't as crazy as some other celebrities' demands, but it still is shocking. But when it comes to extremes, Beyonce has a handbook for her employees to guide them on what exactly she expects from them. Many sources explain that each employee must read the handbook and sign a contract. Now Blue Ivy, for example, has her own handbook, The Daily Program of Blue Ivy, as per Miss Carter. Now it seems like Beyonce doesn't play when it comes to people taking care of her family. Now this rulebook includes how she wants her children to be taken care of. At one point, there were 6 nannies for the twins and 2 for Blue when needed. For the twins, who were born in 2017, each nanny worked in a span of 8-hour shifts around the clock, as according to Beyonce at the time, the twins had separate sleeping patterns. Now when Blue Ivy was younger, she required 3 nannies as well, but now that she's older, they've employed 2 instead of 3. It really seems like Beyonce and Jay Z really want their kids to have the best care they can get, and I don't blame them. Now in 2018, it was revealed that Blue Ivy's personal chef described Blue as a picky eater. According to him, her favorite dish was whole wheat pasta shaped like ballet dancers and pureed asparagus. Then we found out that Blue was not allowed to listen to music during nap time, and that she also must learn another language. It's been reported that Blue has already started learning a variety of different languages, but Beyonce and Jay Z want her to be fluent in more than 2 languages by the time she's 18. According to a source who's in with the family, Beyonce and Jay have had 2 major job requirements for their nannies. They have to be happy to travel the world with the Carters, and the other main stipulation is that they must be bilingual. They want a French speaker for a number of reasons. The family has a real connection with France, and Beyonce's nephew Jules is a French speaker because his dad is French. Now it's also been said that since Beyonce requires her nannies to travel with her, a detailed understanding of how to navigate Brooklyn is important. She wants her caregivers to know where the best attractions, museums, and shops are for her children, but also how to get around in ways that will attract as little as attention as possible. Not to mention, at one point, Blue Ivy got to school via her important entourage of security guards and drivers. Now Blue's entourage included 2 drivers and 3 bodyguards. Yep. Now other parents from the school had actually complained, saying that she has too many drivers and guards as they take up all the space and make it complicated for other parents to have a place to stop. Some complained that other celebrity children attend the school as well, but they only have 1 car and 1 driver. But I guess things are different when Beyonce is your mom. People on Beyonce and Jay Z's team have to be able to keep a secret. I mean, if you work for any celebrity, you have to have discretion, but you have to be extra careful working for the music's most famous couple. For example, Beyonce released a surprise album in 2016. Now of course, people on the team had to keep it a secret. Not to mention that the album features vocals from Kendrick Lamar, Jack White, James Blake, and The Weeknd. With this many people involved, there probably had to be a lot of NDAs signed, but at the end of the day, it was a surprise, so everyone had the secret well kept. Then there was also the fact that Beyonce kept her first pregnancy a secret. At the VMAs in 2011, Beyonce was a performer. She addressed the crowd before her performance of Love on Top, saying, "Tonight I want you to stand up on your feet. I want you to feel the love that's growing inside of me." Now at the end of the song, she dropped the mic, unbuttoned her purple sequin blazer, and started rubbing her belly. She was pregnant. Now Beyonce later told Harper's Bazaar that the reveal was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. She said, "I put a lot of thought in how I wanted to unveil it. It was important to me that I was able to do it myself. I was extremely nervous. It was the toughest red carpet I ever did. I decided to say nothing and proudly show my baby bump. I felt it was more powerful to see the love and enthusiasm as opposed to saying anything." Now, due to this, it became one of the most iconic baby reveals in pop culture history. So just imagine if someone spoiled this. It wouldn't have been that amazing. And I mean, the gender of her baby was actually accidentally revealed by one of her friends, Kelly Rowland. Speaking to Bang Showbiz in 2011, Kelly predicted Jay Z was going to buy that little girl every single thing possible, inadvertently revealing to the world that the couple had a daughter on the way. Speaking about it later, Kelly said that Beyonce was disappointed about the ordeal. "I felt terrible because it's not my news," Kelly said. "It was honestly the worst. It wasn't my news to share." Now, that was her friend who did that, but if you were an employee who did that, oh, I'm sure you'd be fired right on the spot. But yeah, if you're on her team, you'd have to keep the biggest secrets and not tell a soul. Now, Beyonce likes everything to be perfect, and this includes her looks. She's a perfectionist in everything in her life and likes to have total control. Now, in 2015, a picture went viral from a red carpet event of one of Beyonce's staff members being seen trying to adjust her dress. Now, the staff member was none other than her personal assistant, Jane Greenberg. It was during the title red carpet event that Jane tried to fix Beyonce's dress multiple times, but Beyonce didn't like this though, as you could tell by her demeanor. Then Beyonce actually whispered, "Stop it," and Jane left her dress alone, moving away from the cameras and giving Beyonce back the spotlight. But I mean, she was just trying to help. Now, someone who can't help the couple though are people who worked with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. Now, when Kim and Kanye were still married at one point, they were really good friends with Beyonce and Jay Z. But then things changed. Kanye got on stage during one of his performances and basically made a shout out to Jay Z saying he should call him after all this time. Then he went further by calling out Beyonce for not performing beside him at the 2016 MTV Video Music Awards. Kanye then got upset when the couple didn't call him or Kim after Kim got robbed in Paris. Then more recently, Kanye's political beliefs strayed very far away from what Jay Z and Beyonce believe, so they also didn't get along due to that. So slowly over the years, they ended up distancing themselves, which, hey, I can't really blame them for. Although Beyonce and Kim have never been friends, through the years they've both been accused by the media of throwing shade at each other. Now, it's also been said that the family will pay you well, but only if you actually work hard and earn it. Jay Z gave all of his employees $50,000 right before Christmas and gave them Christmas gifts as well in 2013. Combined throughout the year, the couple gave up to $4.6 million in bonus money and gifts, which is super generous. Jay Z is also known to tip big pretty much anywhere he goes, which is good because a lot of celebrities can be cheapskates. Now, one time he spent $80,000 on a friend's birthday party where staff and everyone else invited all enjoyed dinner and drinks on him. Now, Beyonce, on the other hand, is sometimes more reluctant to give away money so freely, but maybe she should take note of her husband's caring ways.
We were warned that big-name celebrities were going to be called out over the course of Diddy's trial, and it seems that started with Jay Z being named in a suit. It was originally filed back in November, but at the time it was just Sean Combs, aka Diddy, that was named. The others were simply referred to as Celebrity A and B. The woman that has filed the suit has requested that she remain anonymous, so she is known as Jane Doe during the proceedings. The lawsuit alleged that Diddy and an unnamed additional male celebrity harmed Jane Doe inappropriately, while another, also unnamed, female celebrity watched. The plaintiff's story in the lawsuit was she attempted to sneak into Radio City Music Hall in 2000 for the MTV VMAs, but when she was unsuccessful, she ran into Diddy's driver. The driver told her to come back after the show, and when she did, he drove her to a large white house with a gated U-shaped driveway. The plaintiff further claims that upon entering the home, she was presented with a non-disclosure agreement and asked to sign. Once inside, she claims there was widespread use of substances, and when handed a beverage, they were in there too. In a bid to find somewhere safe to rest, the plaintiff claims she entered an empty bedroom, and it wasn't long after she entered that the trio of celebrities allegedly followed. It was then that the multiple transgressions happened, ultimately halting when the plaintiff struck Diddy in the neck. She was able to eventually escape the house and return home, but the night left its mark. As reported by the Daily Mail, the lawsuit claims that the plaintiff fell into a deep depression which continues to affect every facet of her life. Diddy, Kim continues to assert his innocence. The Daily Mail obtained photos from this night that included music artist Jay Z, who is now officially named in this suit. I recently covered this lawsuit in another video back in November. Leaked Diddy party photos of Jennifer Lopez will change everything. At the time, the lawsuit only named Sean Diddy Combs. The other parties were simply unnamed celebrities. That has obviously changed. Jay-Z's name has been revealed. However, we still don't know who the female celebrity was. There are 1,001 theories, of course, because that's what the internet does, but we still don't know for sure. So to clarify, just because I mentioned J-Lo a second ago, she was not named in the suit. That is the focus of this video. However, with the knowledge that we are still missing one piece of the puzzle, and that originally Jay-Z was unnamed, it begs a couple of big questions. Why did she only name Diddy originally and wait to release Jay-Z's name, and why hasn't the female celebrity's name been released either? Only Jane Doe and her legal team know for sure. However, Jay-Z has given us some clues on his end. He claims that before his name was added to the mix, his lawyer received a letter about the suit. Allegedly, the letter was intended to blackmail him. It was described as a pre-litigation demand letter. The rapper claimed that he was asked for money, but Jane Doe's legal representation, Tony Busby, claimed that she asked for mediation and never sought financial gain. Busby did respond to Jay-Z's claims in an amended complaint. This time, he accused Jay-Z of conspiracy of harassment, bullying, intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z. So from all that, it's looking like Jay-Z's name was initially kept in the dark because they were trying to work things out behind closed doors, but everything went sour, and that's why it's all in the open now. Other than the female celebrity's name, of course. There is a possibility we'll never know who it was. In the event that the same stages were taken with celebrity B as they were with celebrity A, there is a chance everything was settled behind closed doors, and we will forever be left to wonder. The suit did say that the female celebrity didn't actually do anything to the plaintiff, she just watched, but that's also not great. The original lawsuit was filed back in October. It's unclear if Jane Doe's legal team also would have sent a letter to Combs' lawyer in advance like how they did to Jay-Z's, or if they simply would have just filed the suit, considering there were already so many against Diddy already. Jay-Z is adamantly denying pretty much everything the suit is accusing him of. He has shared that the allegations are causing strain in his personal and family life, as his daughter, Blue Ivy, is old enough to likely hear this information, and she's almost the age the woman in the suit was when the incident happened. Jay-Z is now calling for a name to be revealed, and it's Jane Doe's. She has wanted to remain anonymous since the filing of the suit. However, Jay-Z wants to know who is accusing him. Jay-Z claims that the accuser should not be allowed to tarnish his name while hiding her identity. His attorney called the whole situation a shakedown and said that if Jane Doe isn't revealed, it would deny Mr. Carter the fundamental right to confront his accuser while simultaneously enabling plaintiff and her counsel to conduct a trial by media. In a Monday filing, Jay-Z and his legal team have called for a judge to order that Jane Doe either reveal herself or the lawsuit gets dropped. However, Jane Doe likely has a good reason to keep her name under wraps. Tony Busby spoke on behalf of her and the over 200 clients with claims against Diddy that his firm represents, and explained why it's so important for them to be anonymous. He claimed that about 80% of those that he is representing during this Diddy case have told the firm that Diddy has warned them to keep quiet or something bad would happen to them and or their loved ones. Who knows if he meant it, but better safe than sorry. Keeping your name out of the headlines also ensures that you don't get hounded by the press day in and day out. Famous and rich rapper Jay-Z can afford security. We don't know what Jane Doe's lifestyle looks like or if it would be safe for her in that sense. Busby spoke to a federal judge Sunday, during which he stressed the importance of his client remaining anonymous for protection's sake. Jay-Z did release a statement in which he accused Jane Doe's representation, Busby, of exploiting people for personal gain. He called the claims against him idiotic, and if there weren't young people involved, laughable. But somehow, this all gets even more dramatic. Busby shared that he actually expected Jay-Z to attempt to unmask Jane Doe and would be filing a response when the time was right, which will probably be soon. But he also dropped another bombshell claim just to shake things up. Apparently, Busby was sued in November by an unnamed celebrity. We know it was a man because they sued under the name John Doe. Since the first filing with Diddy's name happened in October, the timeline would line up for Busby to have enough time to contact Jay-Z's lawyer and then for them to sue in response. Of course, this is all alleged, as Busby doesn't even know who it was, so I certainly won't pretend to know for sure either. Busby did relate this case to the one making the headlines now, saying, "He sued me under a pseudonym but files a motion to reveal the victim." Despite the high-profile nature of this case, Jay-Z is still out making public appearances. He was spotted on a red carpet shortly after the news broke of the incident from the early 2000s. The red carpet in question reason was Disney's Mufasa. The live-action prequel to The Lion King stars Beyonce and their daughter Blue Ivy, so that is why he was there. There to support his family. It is his daughter's big day. However, considering the circumstances, many people have shared online that they think he should not have gone, or at least stayed off the red carpet. That maybe he should have sat this one out. One ex-user said that the rapper had nerve showing up like that, another agreeing with the response, no shame. Another popular rapper is even lending his keyboard to the drama. 50 Cent has been closely following the Diddy allegations and case and commenting at every chance he gets. Having Jay Z roped into it all now, it was only a matter of time before a post hit Instagram. The post has since been deleted, but of course, there are screenshots. He posted a picture of the family on the red carpet with a caption directly referencing the allegations against Jay Z. It basically said, "Oh, I got accused of this really awful thing, time to go to the movies." That's like a very PG translation of the actual caption. Truly, it seems the public loves 50 Cent for keeping it real and never shying away from throwing in his 2 cents, or should I say 50, a bad joke for me, but he does have a lot to say at all times. One ex-user even said that at this point, 50 Cent is the only trustworthy news source. He's even helping create a Netflix documentary about this whole situation. Not much is known past the fact that Netflix will stream it. We know it will be primarily about Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and one of the first and most public of the suits against the disgraced rapper. The doc will be an episodic series, and all proceeds will go towards victims of inappropriate violence. When 50 Cent confirmed the bidding war was won by Netflix in a since deleted Instagram post, he also claimed that if more victims keep coming out, he's gonna need more episodes, so there is potential that the doc will end up covering way more than it originally bargained for, especially since Diddy's trial hasn't even happened yet. It's set for a May 2025 start.
Now we all know that Jay Z has been friends with Diddy for years. They became friends in the 90s and they collaborated on multiple projects together. They became two of the biggest names in the music industry as they each had their own labels. Diddy founded Bad Boy Entertainment, launched in 1993, and Jay Z's Rockefeller Records founded a year later. Now surprisingly though, there was no rivalry among the two rappers, who remained supportive of each other's work. Now from there, their bond just grew. After a photo of Diddy and Jay Z chatting it up during his birthday party was showcased at the Rock and Roll of Hip Hop exhibition, Diddy opened up about his friendship with the fellow rapper and said, "That was one of my birthday parties and I was just telling him I appreciate him coming." He further added he was on tour and he flew in private after one of his shows just to come to the party, then he had to fly back out. "I was just telling him how much I appreciate it and how much I value our friendship. People see us as competitors and different icons in the hip hop game, but that was just a moment of two black brothers telling each other how much they appreciate each other." Their bond was strong, and Jay Z even got Beyonce involved in the friendship. Now the power couple would be seen at a bunch of Diddy's parties, where they would even debut some of their new music there. I mean, in the past couple of years, they were still praising each other in the public, as Diddy was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2022 BET Awards. Jay Z paid a special tribute to him with a video. Now, with their friendship on full display, it shocked people that Jay Z nor Beyonce spoke up when Diddy's houses were raided in March or when he was arrested in September. Now, some people called this out, like 50 Cent. He posted a picture of the rapper's face on a milk carton with the words "missing" on Instagram and added in the caption, "Anybody seen Jay? LOL," joking he ain't been answering his phone. Now, many people were waiting for Jay Z to speak up, and because he didn't, people started to suspect that he had something to do with the crimes Diddy committed. I mean, they partied and were together a lot. This would certainly be plausible. Now, we finally got the answer on December 8th as Jay Z was named in a refiled lawsuit against Diddy. Now, the general public knew about this lawsuit in October, but new details emerged that placed Jay Z as a perpetrator of the crime committed alongside Diddy. The anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, said the incident happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards afterparty in the year 2000. After the awards, she was driven to a White House where she had to sign an NDA. There, she said she was offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and it felt like she needed to lie down, so she went into a room to rest. Shortly afterwards, the suit says Diddy and Jay Z entered the room, with Diddy saying, "You're ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men, while an unnamed female celebrity watched. Now, could that female celebrity be Beyonce? just maybe. Now, after the alleged incident, the suit says Jane Doe grabbed her clothes and left. She made her way to a gas station where she called her father. Now, this sounds extremely real, as a former party planner for Diddy, who worked for him during 2004 and 2005 and wished to remain anonymous, spoke to some news outlets about the disgraced musicians' parties. They stated that women attending these parties were subjected to weight checks. We would do a weigh-in if necessary. The girls had to be young and hot, so I always had a scale nearby in case I needed to make sure. The number was 140 pounds, but if a girl was really tall, there was a little bit of discretion involved, said the planner, adding that the other requirements included no flab, no cellulite, not overly pierced or tattooed, and no short hair. Now, seems like this Jane Doe fit the description of exactly what Diddy wanted. It was also revealed that Diddy would make people sign NDAs to attend his parties. A document released showed that guests were issued strict rules on discussing Diddy, his associates, and any activities or individuals present at his events. The NDA reportedly forbade guests from sharing any information about Diddy, his family members, current or former partners, or friends. Now, under the agreement, attendees were restricted from taking photos, filming, or recording anything at these events without his written consent. Now, something that makes these NDAs quite unique is that it's enforceable for either 70 years or the artist's lifetime plus an additional 20 years, whichever is longer. Now, this is a duration that is far exceeding standard NDAs. Now, Jay Z was actually spotted the day after the lawsuit was filed. Jay attended the premiere of a movie with Beyonce where their daughter Blue Ivy voiced one of the characters. It was the first time Jay Z had been spotted in public since the accusations, and sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that Jay Z and Beyonce were not planning on going to the premiere. However, they appear to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. Beyonce forced Jay Z to go to the premiere last night, an insider told DailyMail.com. They're working with a crisis specialist who is advising them on how to handle this. Beyonce believes that the best way is to face it head on. Blue Ivy is well aware of what's going on and is intent on supporting her father in any way she can. She was there in solidarity with her dad and mom. Beyonce will do anything she can to keep their family together, but is also concerned that more women might come forward with lies. So it seems like Beyonce is standing with her husband, but this just makes her look really bad and even guilty. Like mentioned before, she had attended plenty of Diddy parties herself. Now, Beyonce and Jay Z once attended one of Diddy's New Year's Eve parties, and the couple spent time with Diddy ringing in the new year of 2014 in Miami. Now, the weird thing is there are articles about them being there, but all the photos of the night have disappeared. Strange, right? Well, in one article, it said that Jay Z and Beyonce were off in a corner dancing and greeting people, an insider said. Drake came with a posse of friends and took over the turntables, and T.I. and Jamie Foxx were chatting and hanging out during the event. Pharrell Williams was also in attendance, the source adds. Now, it was reported that Beyonce wasn't wearing any pants, and that some people say she was later seen in the swimming pool, looking dazed and confused. It's just strange all around, and the couple also attended the music mogul's 50th birthday party in 2019. But we've been told by insiders that these parties are not what they seem, and that a lot of messed up things happen at them. Former music industry insider Tom Swoop had attended a couple of the parties, and he shared with the public what would happen behind the scenes. He broke down how the parties worked for viewers and claimed that the parties were separated into tiers of access. There was general admission, then a series of tiers ending with entrance to the inner circle, where the real partying went on. Now, this allegedly included humiliating male and female guests on the promise of record deals or money. Yeah, now why does this kind of sound like a cult or some sort of ritual? Ugh, I do not like it. Now, Tom went on to say that there were a lot of substances present and that Diddy played a horrible so-called joke on a young artist. He said Diddy wanted the artist to do a certain act, and if he did it, Diddy would give him $100,000 and a record deal before claiming it was a joke when the young artist was about to do it. Tom claimed Diddy told him, "I can make anybody do anything because this life is what they want, and I got the keys to the castle." Now, Tom didn't like any of this though, so he left the party thinking, if this what goes on behind the curtain and you're all comfortable with this, nah, I don't want this life. He added there were so many celebrities there who were cool with who he was and what he did to entertain them. It's not isolated, he added. You all need to think of everybody when you think of him and the access and the amount of people who were there. So it seems like Jay Z was cool with all this going on. But what about Beyonce?
Behind the dazzling smiles, sold out tours, and meticulously crafted personas lies a marriage shrouded in mystery. Jay Z and Beyonce have masterfully manipulated their public image, but beneath the facade of perfection, whispers of turmoil linger. And let it be known that there is so much history between Jay and Bey, so it would be almost impossible to discuss every red flag, but I want to start by digging into the hidden warnings overlooked by the masses that expose the complexities of their relationship. The truth is basically hidden in plain sight. So there have been so many subtle hints from Beyonce, like especially through her music and albums, that Jay Z has cheated on her. In 2016, on Beyonce's Lemonade album, Beyonce seemingly confronts Jay Z about his infidelity in her song Pray You Catch Me, where she says, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath." In her other song on the same album, Hold Up, she references a woman rocking her man's chain, implying Jay Z's affair. And then there's also Sorry with the iconic Becky with the good hairline, which was widely interpreted as referencing Jay Z's mistress. So that is like a lot of hints, and those are just 3 examples, but 2 other songs on the same album also hint at infidelity and lies. So maybe it's time to go re-listen to Lemonade and hear for yourself. Hey, like who knows, maybe you'll find some that no one else has before. Now fast forward to Beyonce's 2022 album Renaissance, Beyonce confidently asserts, "I'm one of one, I'm number one, I'm the only one, don't even waste your time trying to compete with me." That sentence alone definitely makes you wonder, like, who's she talking to or about? A lot of fans solidified their suspicion that Jay Z was unfaithful once he appeared on David Letterman's Netflix show, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction. Jay Z actually said, "I have a beautiful wife who is understanding and knew that I am not the worst of what I've done. And we did the hard work of going to therapy." So this begs the question, if Jay Z cheated on Beyonce, who did he cheat on her with? And there has actually been like a lot of theories, like Rita Ora, Rachel Roy, Gwyneth Paltrow, but they've all denied meddling in the rapper's marriage. Now, rewind to an interview Jay Z did with the New York Times in 2017, Jay Z acknowledged infidelity, stating he was in denial about it, and also in 2018 on the Ellen DeGeneres show, he emphasized learning from his mistakes. Nevertheless, some fans have praised his admission, saying it has highlighted growth, accountability, and efforts to repair his marriage with Beyonce. But as you can imagine, you know, the Beyhive, like to this day, are having none of it, and so they're like ready to ride at dawn. This may not be a red flag to you, but to me it is. And they say love is love, but age gaps between couples are like simply hard to ignore. Jay Z is 12 years older than Beyonce. And while someone who is like 40 dating a 52-year-old seems perfectly fine, a 19-year-old dating a 31-year-old, I don't know, that just doesn't sit right in my spirit. However, age is but a number in their case, as it didn't stop them from beginning their love story. Like the icky part for me though is that Jay Z had eyes for Beyonce when she was just 18 years old. And like, let's be so for real, it probably started way younger than that. So the two first actually crossed paths at an MTV spring break event. The rapper later released a track about their first meeting titled Everything Is Love. In the song, he raps, "We played it cool at the pool of the Cancun. VMA confidence, you exude, make the fools stay away. Me, I played my room, let the fools have they say. Fate had me sitting next to you on the plane." And I knew straight away. Despite Jay Z going so hard, Beyonce actually admitted that she didn't believe people love the same things at 20 as they do when they're 30, which is why despite starting to date at 19 and Jay like wanting to wife her right away, she actually did not tie the knot with him until she was 26. Now, a lot of fans over the years have even said they feel sad for her because they feel like Beyonce went from dealing with an overbearing father to dating a man who is also older and overbearing. Many fans saying she's only with Jay still because it's literally like all she knows, having been with him since she was a teenager. One fan even said Jay Z never deserved her, And if she had the time to live her life and develop her prefrontal cortex, she would have never chosen him. And I bet he, being Jay, knows that. Now, some fans wish she had like a clumsy dating experience in the early 2000s where she could have like ventured into relationships with celebrities such as like Nelly, Justin Timberlake, or even Usher. Like, imagine a world in which Beyonce and Usher are together and dominating the music industry right now. Like, I can kind of see it, can you? I simply can't talk about Jay Z and Beyonce red flags without mentioning the most famous one of all. Yes, you guessed it, the Solange and Jay Z elevator incident. If Jay Z really had like 99 problems, Solange might have just been the biggest one, okay? So it was like the elevator fight seen around the world. Following the 2014 Met Gala, like obtained video footage showed Beyonce, her sister Solange, and Jay Z getting into an elevator together. A huge fight ensued shortly after, and with surveillance footage showing Solange literally lunging at the rapper and hitting him multiple times before being physically restrained by security. Beyonce actually didn't appear to make much of an effort to intervene at all, and honestly, she just stood there watching. I would have loved to be a fly on that elevator wall that moment. Listen, the video was about like 3 minutes long, and the hotel security was so mad it got leaked, but like whoever leaked it probably got the biggest bag from doing so, like allegedly $250K. So the only thing that could have made that bag even bigger would have been like some audio to go along with it. Needless to say, the employee got fired immediately, but I bet he wasn't even mad. And the trio then released a joint statement simply saying, "We've worked through it," and both parties actually did decline to press charges. Now, although not much has come out recently that would give more details on what exactly happened in the elevator that night, Jay Z shortly after the incident did say in an interview that this incident with Solange was like a one-time thing. They had one disagreement ever, and before and after, that's it. They've been cool. He then went on to say Solange is like his sister. He'll always protect her. And like, quote unquote, he said, "It ain't nothing." Solange made a tweet on May 14, 2014, which was one day before their joint statement that read, "I love my sister and I love my brother." Beyonce, however, and in typical fashion, remained completely silent the whole time. Like, no public statement, no tweets, nothing. Of course, there are so many theories on what caused this altercation, and a few speculated reasons consist of Jay Z's business dealings, because allegedly there was a disagreement over Roc Nation's involvement with Solange's music. But the most common theme of speculation is, of course, geared towards personal issues Bey and Jay were having, like the lies and infidelity. Now, one of the funnier theories is that Jay Z apparently had spoiled like the Game of Thrones ending, for which caused the attack. But considering the pair's silence on the disappointing series finale, it seems now that they might not even watch the show. Another wild theory is that Solange is just like a nasty drunk, but that has been debunked because it would be proven later that she wasn't intoxicated at all. Well, the incident is very much water under the bridge, and although we all want to know, we might not actually ever find out what caused this brawl, and maybe it's actually better that way.